know what happened last Friday. It was the NBA Cup. We are in the nick of things, or in the midst of things. We're in the heart of things. We are in the knockout round. This is where all the best teams that performed during the initial stage of the NBA Cup will move on and play in a one-game elimination style tournament. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this on the screen so you guys can see what we are looking at. And I am extremely excited for these matchups. As you can see, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder facing the Phoenix Suns. So an underdog team facing a juggernaut. Then you got the Los Angeles Lakers playing against the San Antonio Spurs. Obviously, we need Wemby to come back for this game. And then we got out east, the Magic versus the Heat. Chill, we got a Florida matchup right in your neck of the woods.
Yes, sir.
And then we got two of the biggest markets in the NBA. We don't talk about Toronto being one of the biggest markets in the NBA, but it is. And it's an international market. But we got the Toronto Raptors versus the New York Knicks. Fellas, do we want to do what's the biggest thing that stood out to you guys from last Friday and with these matchups?
That the cup, for me, that the cup has actually been a blessing in disguise. I was not a fan of the cup at all. I just thought it was a gimmick. And I thought it was just something to make money, only to find out that the mixing up of divisions and these division matchups turn into real rivalries, like the Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks, even though the Milwaukee Bucks aren't a powerhouse, but they got a really good player. Phoenix and Oklahoma City, these games turn into really good games, and it looks like this could be something for the ages. I didn't think that I would be that interested in watching the cup, but I'm 100%. I'm all invested in this. I actually had Toronto as the dark horse to win it, but the Knicks handled them. But that's a division game because the Knicks are in that division. But that's another division game that, I mean, this could be possibly something that we see in the playoffs. And I think that with the cup, I think it's a prelude to what the playoffs could be. And I mean, we get to see it firsthand, and I love it.
Swipe of Mars, you guys want to speak into the NBA Cup last Friday? Was there a game or anything that stood out to you guys?
Yeah, shout out Devin Booker and the Spurs. No, I've liked Devin Booker for a long time now. I think he just is, unfortunately, to Stan Van Gundy's point, he's in the most talented era that has ever existed. And so if he was around, a decade or two ago, I think he'd be talked about differently. He's a very good scorer. He's 6'6", 6'7" out of Florida State. I think he is a all-star kind of talent. But it's just a situation that he's in. I just don't think he's ever going to get there, unfortunately. But he's really good. Keldon Johnson had a good day. Justin Champagnie, I think, had 25 points in that game. I don't remember how many threes they hit, but they were just going. They were going wild. But yeah, Spurs, man, like they're, I really like Devin Booker, so that's probably the biggest takeaway that I have from last Friday.
I thought that Oklahoma City Phoenix game was a dogfight, and I didn't realize that was on Friday. Is that correct?
Yeah, Colin
that was on Friday.
Yeah.
That Oklahoma City Phoenix game turned into a dogfight, and I think it's up to us to, because I don't think anybody else is saying anything, but it's up to us to let Dillon Brooks know that, you got a bucket getter on your crew.
He ain't been better. He's not been better than Dillon Brooks the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that bucket getter to go get some buckets. Oh.
Yeah, he's been soft. He's been disengaged. He's not shooting well.
I don't know. Well, maybe you might want to get me involved in the game.
No, but why would I get you involved that you're turning down shots, and on top of that, I'm scoring better than you?
Well, the reason why I'm turning down shots is because you're shooting.
And I'm making the shots, and you are not. Yeah, okay, and I'm making the shots and you are not.
Okay, you're making shots.
Joe, I thought about this before we came on the show because I knew this was going to be a topic, and I really thought about my time in locker rooms. If somebody is playing better than me for stretches, then we are going to, even if, no matter how long it's lasting, we're going to build our game plan around allowing that person allowed to thrive. That's what they're dealing with Dillon Brooks. Devin Booker, if you have not been watching, not for you, but just for the audience, he's been disengaged. He's been sucking at the double team traps like he normally does. He's not getting downhill. You always used the downhill thing. He's just not been the type. He's not been physical. Like, he's getting moved off the ball. He's not hitting his shots when they're available. Dillon Brooks is. Dillon Brooks is getting to the mid-range like you love. Dillon Brooks is forcing the contact towards the rim. Dillon Brooks is hitting his three-pointers. He's making multiple three-pointers a game. He's been the best scorer on the team.
Well, and I can get with that. And the reason why is because the offense has changed. If you notice, Devin Booker is very much of a ball dominant guy. That's not going on in Phoenix. The Peel has been moving a lot more. And with the Peel moving a lot more, that's kind of been what's made Devin Booker stagnant, because he used to playing with the ball. He's one of those kind of players where he doesn't really play that well without the ball. And I do think that he's good off the ball, because I actually think he's better off the ball. But I think in this particular situation, the way this offense is constructed, the ball is moving a little bit more, and I think that throws him off whack. However,
the last 10 games, Devin Booker on this roster has had the ball more than anybody else on the roster. Next up, he's at 28% usage. Dillon Brooks has 27. So, yeah, he's getting off the ball, but he's still touching the ball more than anybody else on the floor. He's still getting up more shots than anybody else on the floor. He's just bricking, and Dillon Brooks is playing well.
Y'all, I don't want to turn this into a Devin Booker versus Dillon Brooks thing.
We should, though.
And the only reason why,
should.
But chill. The only reason why I don't want to do that is because this team is actually playing good.
They're good.
They got a good team.
They're good.
Dillon Brooks, y'all, we got to give Dillon Brooks his credit.
Aside he's playing. He's a hooper, dude.
Is a hooper. Whether you think he's out playing Devin Booker or not, that's neither here nor there. His impact on winning is felt everywhere he goes.
Yeah, I agree.
I get that.
And Mars, obviously, being a Houston fan, got a chance to experience Dillon Brooks for a little bit. But, you look at him when he was with Memphis, he's just grown. Like, remember, he was a liability 2022-23 as a jump shooter. Like he was still. But I'm saying, but this is his progression. I'm saying this is
okay. No, I get what you're saying.
It's like the Aaron Gordon thing. He went from being a liability, and then all of a sudden he said, "I don't want to be a liability." Chill. He worked on his game, and he's become a legitimate offensive weapon now. Like, he can beat you off the dribble. He can get you to the spot. He can turn over either shoulder, and then on top of that, he's hitting pull-up threes and open threes, and he's a really good defender, and he's uber aggressive. Like He has become a franchise-altering, high-quality role player that if you had him on your team, you win a championship with a dude like that playing your three. Chill. That's how good he is now.
First of all, we actually – I don't know if you were here that day. We ran down the teams that – how many teams is Dillon Brooks not going to start on? So it's not news who Dillon Brooks is. However, when it comes to Devin Booker, who might not be playing as good as Dillon Brooks right now, as a bucket getter in your estimation, he's still the best defender. He's still the best scorer, and I don't think anybody ever argued that Devin Booker on defense was comparable to Dillon Brooks.
No, of course not. Yeah.
No. With that being said, he's still the best bucket getter on that crew. And I can appreciate riding the hot hand. I can appreciate riding the guy who is getting me buckets. However, I do want to make sure that I keep my primary bucket getter engaged. Who is Devin Booker?
Why would he be disengaged? He has the ball.
Well, you keep saying that he has the ball. The ball's moving. Just because I got the ball, and
do you realize the last 10 games he's shooting 39-22 splits?
He's not shooting the basketball well. I'm not going to argue that point.
But what do you want him to do? Like, you want them to let him take more shots and take away from the offense? No, think about it. Colin Gillespie's playing out of his mind right now. Dillon Brooks is playing out of his mind right now. And then that's not including like Royce O'Neal's having a good run.
Playing out of his mind though, because if you think about who Dillon Brooks was,
not out of his mind, but yeah.
When you think about Dillon Brooks when he was in Memphis, he was like a 16 to 18 a game guy. So he was a bucket getter. The problem was it was on more volume and it was bad shots. I think that he's changed his game in terms of shot creation. I think he's looking to shoot better shots, which is actually working. When I'm thinking about Devin Booker, I'm thinking about Devin Booker in the meat and potatoes of games. This is my bucket getter. I can appreciate who Dillon Brooks is, and I can appreciate what Dillon Brooks does. I'm not going to argue that point because he's definitely a guy who's given us opportunities to stay in games. In the end, though, this is my guy, and this is who I'm riding.
Well, their meat and potato guy has been Colin Gillespie. That's who's been their meat and potato guy in the clutch. If you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves game when they made their comeback when they were down 8 with a minute left, that was Colin. You look at the game versus the OKC Thunder, that was Colin. Like, some of this is like Devin Booker, he's getting pressed, and I think now he's responding by getting pressed and doubled by then giving the ball up. But I do think you have to be able to have other players that can do the job, and I think this is why I think getting away from, which is why Jordan Ott is doing a really good job, he is not sacrificing his offense for his best player. And what I mean by that is you're not trying to get your best player every advantage possible because you can find other ways to be successful with your team and with your offense, and I think that Osh is doing a phenomenal job in making sure everybody else feels empowered to do the best they can do, and I think that's why they look so good.
And we're talking about the Phoenix Suns, but we got to give some credit to the OKC Thunder because that's who the Phoenix Suns played on Friday.
Yep.
Both teams were 3-0. The winner would be the number 1 seed in the NBA Cup, or would have an opportunity to be. And well, the Oklahoma City Thunder survived a very close game and a hard-fought game from the Phoenix Suns. The score was 123-119. Devin Booker, he did actually lead them in scoring that game. He had 21 points, but it just wasn't enough because the Thunder are the Thunder. And the Thunder are now, well, after that game, they were 19-1. They're now 20-1 because they won yesterday. They're 4-0 in the NBA Cup. They're the number 1 seed, and they actually will play the Phoenix Suns again because the Phoenix Suns are now the wild card in the NBA Cup. The Magic beat the Detroit Pistons, and, well, that allowed them to get the number 1 seed. They went 4-0, so they are in. There was also another game where the winner got in and the loser was out, and that was the Spurs and the Nuggets. The Spurs beat the Nuggets by a score of 139-136. Swiper, do you want to speak into this at all? Devin Vassell had 35 points. Jamal Murray had 37. No Wemby. Obviously, the Nuggets are missing a couple starters, but the Spurs.
Yeah, I
started
on the court.
No, I'm not. I don't think just with Jokic. I think that the Nuggets defense of Aaron Gordon has been bad. They slid to 15th in the league. They've gone from 2 to 15. They're missing 2 of their 4 best defenders. Obviously, everything is different about the roster right now. I think the Nuggets don't have the ability to. They can't just that has been the thing. The Nuggets games are harder now with their rotation being thinner, and so they've really played a lot differently. Devin Vassell was great, like I said. Jamal's been great this year. I think he's an all-star. I think he should make it. He had 37 points in that game. He was excellent. Who else played? Cam Johnson's been phenomenal. He had 28 points in that game. He's averaging, I think, I want to say 17 in the last 7 on shooting 60% from 3. His defense has been really good. He's actually taken up a lot of the slack, obviously, since Brown and Aaron Gordon's been out. I was very not upset, whatever that mean, but disappointed with Jokic just all the way around. He just wasn't as engaged as I wanted him to be for stretches of that game. But go ahead. No. Go
ahead. No. He rose his hand. Go ahead.
Is it the non-shooting gimmick?
Yeah, we know where this is going.
So
I don't know if it's a gimmick.
You can't say that was.
I don't know if it was a gimmick. I really don't. I really don't. I think he's.
I really don't. Wipe up. What are we doing, man?
But I don't know if it was a gimmick or not. I can't speak to that. I know he's hurt. I know his wrist. I know he's hurt, and I know he's not playing the same way that he's taken. Last 3 games, I think he's taken 9 shots, 9, 7. I don't know. Again, I don't know. Like I said, I said the same thing though. But I criticized him for it. But I'm saying, Mar, I don't know if it's a gimmick. I didn't like the way he played. Period. In that game, and then he bounced back and had a much better game versus the Suns, obviously. So I don't know. It was just a bad game all the way around. Bad game all the way around. But yeah, like I said, I think Devin Vassell is one of them. He's one of my favorite players in the league.
With your crew, from what I've seen, I think the difference with your crew, it's going to be health. More than anything, I think the health situation.
Losing AG, losing Brown was one thing, but losing Aaron Gordon, that's been a whole different deal.
Losing the anchor of the defense is tough.
We kind of need him. Real talk, we do. We do need him in order for us to be successful. So I think that if you guys, it's good that it's happening now, as opposed to when we get past the All-Star break and then you guys are hobbling into the playoffs. If you can get these guys as healthy as possible come playoff time, or when we get later in the season, we get to that last stretch of games, I think you got a real good shot in the Western Conference.
They don't even need Christian Brown. They need Aaron Gordon.
You don't think so?
They're fine without Christian Brown. That team is good.
Peyton Watson's been bad.
Yeah, Peyton Watson.
Obviously, you want.
And Casey Wallace has been better than Lou Dort.
Yeah,
fight
that.
That's true.
That doesn't mean we don't need Lou Dort.
This ain't the same team. I'm talking. That's a big defender. I think most teams would like their whole roster to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Of course they want Christian Brown. Of course they want Lou Dort. They want Casey Wallace. But they don't this Denver team does not need Christian Brown. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not. I don't know everything, obviously, but I think they're fine without Christian Brown. It's the Aaron Gordon loss is a big deal, but I still don't think it's gonna come the end of the season. I don't think they're gonna even be worried about this time they lost Aaron Gordon. Like when he'll be back in plenty of time.
Now, Ox, can I say that? Can to your point? Can I say? Actually, I'm going to say, I can appreciate the anchor of your defense in Aaron Gordon, one of your better rebounders, who I would like to see him rebound a little bit more. That's fine. But the anchor on your defense, okay, we might need Aaron Gordon a little more because we got a big body. We got a guy who's more, I think he's a little bit more versatile on defense. However, I would definitely rather have both of them than not have Christian Brown. I definitely would rather that.
Yeah, of course. You want your whole roster. Shit, they signed them to an extension for a reason.
Yes.
I mean, well, that's why they were so good, though. They were running a 10-man rotation, and everybody was be able to play with a lot more energy. And when you're missing Brown and AG, the thing that's gone is their defense. They don't spend the same amount of energy defensively right now.
Playing bums.
What hurts worse though? Swap,
you talking about
before you jump into that? Swap, I'm curious. What hurts worse though? Them missing Aaron Gordon, or the Spurs missing Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle? I just think y'all should talk about De'Aaron Fox a little bit more.
I don't think De'Aaron was great.
Dylan Harper came back, by the way.
De'Aaron wasn't great in that Friday game he brought up, but I think.
Still want to trade him?
Shout out Dylan Harper, but
still want to trade him?
Man, y'all should probably respect De'Aaron Fox a little more than
De'Aaron was great the next game, but that game he was not all that good.
That's fine. I didn't say he was great.
Yeah,
I didn't say he was great in any of those games. So I'm just saying.
No, he balled the very next game. He was incredible. Yeah, he was great.
I mean, he had a really good passing and playmaking game against y'all.
He did have 12 assists, right?
Well.
Yeah. No, he was cool.
I mean, the reads are quite easy when
Yeah, so in one of the things that was happening, and the thing that's been the most frustrating about
Foxy
Denver.
don't never get no love for his assist game, but when say anybody else do it, man, it's crazy. Man. Y'all be nitpicking De'Aaron Fox so bad.
They do, Ox. They do.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, I think the issue with Denver and their defense is what's happened is like AG and for all the other things they do well. Like one of the things that really has taken place since last Friday. Last Friday they played a stupendous defensive game versus the Rockets, and you saw the energy level was where it needed to be. And then 1 week later, they can't cover the off-ball three to save their life. They're sinking on everything, corner threes, wing threes. Devin Booker was 7-9 from three, and he kept getting open three-point attempts because they were over-helping on the crash to the middle, like a lot of their coverages they were kind of throwing out there. So
why do you think they over-help in the paint?
Well, I think it's one if their scheme, remember, because they're running more drop traditionally with Joker or whatever, or they're running the trap. And so they always drop anyway. But then it's the rotation around that action, like around that drop, around the catch that I think has been really weak and really limited as of late. Joker didn't have a good defensive game, but like I feel like I've been pretty consistent on this. If Jokic,
when's the last time he had a good one? Was it the Rockets game?
Yeah, well, since then, remember they played the Rockets, then they played the Kings the next day. I don't think Kings he didn't have a bad defensive game versus the Kings. Remember the Kings, that was the jumper game with like DeRozan and Westbrook and all them were making all crazy jumpers.
So just playing basketball, shooting shots.
So over the last 10 games, Indiana, scale of 1 to
10.
10.
You got your mic?
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Can you hear me?
I do not remember that Pacers game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Ron? My fault. So
yeah, you good.
So real talk. They got Indiana, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being garbage.
1.
Sacramento.
1.
Clippers.
1.5. 1.5, bro.
2.5.
Okay, Clippers.
2.
Minnesota.
7, 8.
Bulls.
5.
New Orleans.
1.
Houston.
9.
Kings.
9.
1.
Memphis.
0.5.
1.
I don't even know what Real Talk's ranking. I'm just going along with them.
The teams, because Real Talk
the teams that they're playing.
The teams that they just beat over the last 10 games. San Antonio.
Ooh, the Rockets are at 9. Nice.
San Antonio, I'm sorry.
With no Wemby?
With no Wemby.
6.
Well, according to the panel, apparently that makes it more difficult. So I don't know.
Phoenix.
5.5.
So that's who they've beaten over the last 10 games, and they've only lost 3 of them.
Well, they currently the Nuggets have the 25th easiest schedule in the NBA. So the easiest schedules in the league so far: OKC's number 1, Lakers are number 2, Toronto's number 3, Minnesota's number 4, and then the Knicks are number 5, and then the Nuggets are number 6. Those are the 6 easiest schedules in the league so far.
So wait, Swiper.
Go ahead.
Because those teams you just mentioned, Lakers, top of the conference. OKC, we know what they're doing. Toronto, we know what they're doing. The Knicks, they're all of a sudden on a 5-game winning streak. Are you saying that some things could change?
That's always how it is. Yes, every season you start off well. You always have to have a cake schedule. The Rockets are beating a fairly good schedule right now. I think they have the 12th hardest schedule in the league so far.
That's why the Timberwolves are so concerned.
Oh, that's it.
Because the Timberwolves should be near the top of the West with that schedule.
Well, but to be fair, they're beating the team they're supposed to beat, except for the Phoenix Suns that one game. And then the Kings.
They're not supposed to beat the Suns, but that's besides
the point. Who they just lost to somebody after they had the lead. I can't remember who it was. But they just beat their first 500 team on the season.
Beat the Spurs.
Yeah, so they're winning the game they're supposed to.